everybody, this is Cheri at djsundry.blogspot.com, and today I have what I hope will be a really simple card for you. So let's just jump right in and get started. To start with, I'm using this timeless canvas textured cardstock from Coordinations. Now this is a very thin cardstock, so if it was something that you wanted to send through the mail, you might want to be kind of careful with that or put lots of layers. I'm actually putting lots of layers and I'm not sending it through the mail, so I think we're going to be okay. I'm also using this stamp set. This is the first time I've used this set. It's from My Mind's Eye, the Miss Carolyn collection, and I'm using this one in the corner that says, "You have my whole heart for my whole life." Now I actually didn't realize that it was a solid piece. It's actually, or it is a solid piece. I thought that maybe it was you know, you could put the sentiment without the frame. So I could, if I wanted to, and that frame's kind of wonky, I could put the sentiment. I could take my X-Acto knife, and I may eventually take my X-Acto knife and cut the sentiment out because I don't always want that frame, but for this particular project I think it'll be okay. I'm also using from the Die Cuts with a View the Tattered Time matte stack. These are 4.5 by 6.5 sheets of paper, and this is a really odd size card. This is not a card that I'm sending through the mail, as I mentioned, so I don't have to worry about envelopes and extra postage, and I can make it as bulky as I want and do what I want with it. Because of that, I had a really hard time figuring out what size to cut my paper. It's been a really long weekend at work, and it's a good thing I'm not saving lives today because they'd be in trouble, because it took me 3 times to cut the card base. Enough said. So let's move on. I've cut my card base, and so the final measurement on this is it's 7 inches wide by 10 inches tall, and I scored that at 5 inches. And so I have a 5 by 7 card base here. Now this is where you want to be really careful, because this paper's so thin. I use my score board like I always do to score my cards, just so it gets a straight score. It's a good thing that I'm not sending this through the mail or anything, because this paper, actually the score pal or scoreboard tore right through it. So be really careful. If you're buying this paper, it is a good value, but be sure that maybe you just scored on your own and just use your bone folder to make a good crease, because it's really super thin. Now on the inside, I've already taken one of the pieces from the Tattered Time, and this is just the inside, and I normally would have matted this in black, but I had already wasted too much paper with all my extra cutting, and so I didn't mat it, and I think it's okay because this paper is already naturally distressed a little bit as it is. So now we're going to move to the front of the card, but I'm actually going to set the card aside. I cut a black mat. This black mat is, and you see how easily it creases, but it'll be fine because it's going to be covered up. So I cut the black mat at 4 3/4 inches tall this way, and 6 3/4 inches tall that way, and then I didn't have to do anything with my mat stack. So the first thing that I want to do is mount my printed or my designer paper onto my base. That's going to be my very first step. So let's go ahead, mount that. Just like so. There we go. So I tend to have difficulty getting them straight when I'm on camera, but this one turned out okay, so I'm going to be okay with that. Now I have these little brads that I picked up. I've had them in my stash for a long time, a few years, and there's some brads that I picked up on clearance a few years ago. I believe they're by Making Memories, and they're just really fun brads, and they kind of match the sprockety. This is obviously a card for a mail. However, before I do put those, I want to stamp my image. So this is just a super easy one to stamp, and like I said, that frame is just kind of wonky. Let me try that again, see if I can straighten it up a little bit. This particular stamp set was really tightly adhered to the to the backing page, and so it was really difficult to pull up. And I think when I pulled it up, I think it probably stretched the stamp. So be real careful with that. I think we're okay like that, or maybe it's just supposed to be a little bit of a wonky border. I don't know, but it'll be fine for this particular card. But I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I want a nice crisp black image since it's kind of a dark masculine colored card. So I'm going to just try to place this in kind of a free space here, just like so, and press it down really super well. Just like so. So it almost looks like it was part of the designer paper, the stamp. Yes, it does kind of get lost in there, but that's okay. It's just kind of melding together, and I'm okay with that. So we'll set that aside and move on to our next step. The next step that I want to do is I want to take my mouse pad here, and I'm going to decide where I'm going to place my brads. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Ideology ruler here, and I'm going to come in at about a 1/2 inch from the corner, and I'm going to place my, we're going to go one, I'm going to set it in, we're going to go 1 dot between the 1/2 inch. I'm going to square it up almost like you would a T-ruler with my mat stack. This is my 1/4 inch mark, this is my 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to do the one right between it and just cut a hole, and I'm going to do that on all 4 corners. Line it up on the 2 sides, come in here and press. Again, line it up, come in here and press, and one more, come in here, line it up and press. I think I may have done that different on every single one. That was silly. Like I said, it's a good thing I'm not out trying to save lives today, because my brain is just not working very clearly. Okay, so now we'll just push those through like so, and then I'll just flatten those across. Wow, those brads are tight. And I'll do that all the way around. It really, they almost kind of get lost. Oops, that's a different one completely. To go back and get a different one. They almost kind of get lost in the design of the designer paper, and I'm really quite okay with that. I have 3 different types of this brad, and so I had originally planned to go with that other one you see there, but I had changed my mind. And as you can tell, I obviously didn't do those all the same. Let me grab another brad. I went with this one. They're kind of a florally brad, but they reminded me of the sprockets in the card, and so that's why I chose this one. That one is a little bit tighter because this paper has a gloss on it. It's like a specialty designer paper. There we go. Just like so. Now I have these little metal strips. These are also from Making Memories that I pulled out. This is a Tim Holtz Ideology charm. And I kind of pulled these out wondering where I might use them. And you know, I think I'll save that and maybe put that on the inside. And let's see, let's pull some tuxedo black ribbon from 3 Girl Jam. I'm going to have to trim that kind of small. And we'll put that through. Just like so. It's such a tiny hole, but I think there we go. can make it work. Now, rather than, my initial thought was to tie a bow, but I think rather than tie a bow, I'm just going to knot it and go. A little more masculine that way. Just like so. Kind of stretch it and play with it. And then I'll adhere that right there. So let's go ahead and finish up our card. We're almost done. I'm going to use lots and lots of ATG because I do not want to lose my, with all that extra bulk, I don't want it to fall off. So we're going to use lots of ATG below it. This is really quite heavy with those brads because those brads are quite heavy. And I'll just kind of line that up. Press it down. And then let's pull out some Scotch Quick Dry here. And we'll adhere this ideology tag from Tim Holtz with the Scotch Quick Dry. And hopefully I didn't put too much. Now there's some seeping out. That's okay, because first of all I can go through and kind of clean it up, and then second of all it dries clear, so I don't have to really worry too much if there's a little bit showing, because it will dry clear. So there we have that. Now this second little tag, and this is again from Making Memories, it's actually got a little adhesive on it. We'll see how sticky it is. These, like I said, are quite old, and if I don't feel like it's sticky enough, I think it'll be fine. I think I'm going to just open that, and I'll put it down in this corner just like so. At first I was going to put it on an angle, but we'll just straighten it up, and it kind of offsets the little fleur-de-lis bracket there. So I think I also will go back after I'm done with the video, and I will put a little bit of Scotch Quick Dry under each of these corners just to make it flatten down just a little bit. I just didn't want that sticking through the front of my card. So there we have it. It's a very dark, very masculine colored card, which of course is for my husband, so it's the right colors. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and remember to take some time to enjoy the little things. Have a great day. Bye.